Hey guys, Crypto Dad here again. Thank you for joining me on this video series where we talk about all things encrypted, cryptographic functions. There's a lot of software out there that we might be interested in that we need to install on our computer, and I'm going to go through a lot of these with you in later series, later videos. But right now we're kind of focusing on software verification, which is very important to this whole process. In my previous video, I went through the whole explanation of what software verification is. Now I want to take a little more advanced and just show you a little quirks when you're downloading other types of software than just Tor Browser. So let's go right into this. Okay, so we're here on the Tor website, and we did this last time we downloaded Tor. And there's a download button here, and there's a signature file which leads over to this cryptographic text. And it's a little daunting, it's a little intimidating, a little complicated to do. And I explained to you that what you need to do to run these verifications is to install GnuPG on your computer so that you'll have the right software for running these cryptographic functions. It sounds a bit complicated, but we went through that. Okay, and we talked a little bit about GPG for Windows. I'm helping some Windows users here today. And when we download this onto our computer for the first time, we've never used it before, it makes it a little hard to run the verification on this installer because it's like a chicken and the egg thing. How can we run the verification if we haven't installed the software? How can we install the software if we haven't verified it yet? You know, it could be malicious software. It could have been altered in transport, which is why we do all this from the get-go. So I'm going to go through some alternate ways to verify the GPG software for Windows. I'll go ahead and download it. We won't donate today. And we get our little window here that asks us where we want to save the file. I mentioned to you I like to create folders on the fly as we go. I like to keep things organized. I have a software folder here on my data drive, and I'm going to create a new folder called GPG for Win. Okay. And we'll just download there. Okay, so how are we going to check this? Okay, so if we go back here and we go to verify, check integrity, you'll see that we have some open PGP signatures. Now these open PGP signatures can be used to verify the software installer, but if we've never run this software before, if we don't have a previous version of this software, we're not sure that we're using a trusted version. That's the long and short of it. So a good way to check it without running the verification is to use a Sha Sum Checker. Okay, they've generated these here for us. Okay, and I have Sha Sum Checker on my computer. I'm going to browse over to the file that we just downloaded and see if it gives me the right SHA. Yes, it does. Okay. So basically it needs to match this SHA checksum that we have up here. This is the software that we downloaded, the GPG for Windows 2.3, and this is the SHA. It's a bit long, so we can cut and paste it into our Sha Sum Checker. Click paste, hit verify. Lo and behold, the SHA-1 matched. Okay, now this is great software. I have it installed on my computer, but you may not. And I just wanted to go over one little thing here. If we Google Sha Sum Checker, we're going to get the MD5 SHA Checksum Utility up here. And we also have an online version, which is easy to use. We do the same thing. We click Browse. We go to our file. I'll show you the file that we just downloaded. Okay. Bam. Actually, it didn't do it the way I expected. Here, SHA-1. Okay, so we got 67E, which is very close to what we had before. We can paste in, hit compare, and sure enough, we get a little check mark. What I wanted to point out real quick is that if we follow this link here to this guy over here, hey, you know, I like ads as much as the next guy, but a lot of these software downloaded pages, when you click download now, they want you to use their little downloader, which might install some piggyback software and throw up ads and all kinds of crazy stuff. Okay, so it's much easier if I let's go back here. See, if I just once I know the name of the file that I'm going to download after my sort of generalized Google search, I can paste that in, which you can see I already did before. Hit search, and it's gonna, there's this ad filled thing over here, but we also have a nice little quiet guy who's gonna let us download it without all of the ads and whatnot. So once you know the name of the file, you can look for it by its name and usually find a quiet little site or the developer site that you can download without all the hoopla. Now, in the GPG for Windows here, they mentioned that, okay, so you've downloaded this software from their website, you've used this Sha Sum Checksum from their website. Oh, wait a minute. What if the attacker impersonated the entire website, gave us the faux installer and the faux checksum? So their advice is to find this checksum from a different site or a different channel, so to speak. Okay, so over here they have the release announcement, which takes us to a different website that has the Sha Sum SHA-1 hash down here. And then to be much more secure, you could subscribe to their mailing list so that you get an email with these announcements, and you can take your SHA-1 hash from there, so you know you're not being duped. This is rigorous software. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and run the installer one more time. I'm going to block that. Remember me. Okay. Yeah, these hoopla sites are messing with me, right? We want to avoid those type of things. All right, so let's go over here to our GPG for Windows and our nice software folder, which we verified with the Sha Sum checker. And we're going to run the installer. I did this in the last video, and we want to tick GPA. Okay, and once we get this installed, we want to get easy access to it. And I'll show you my way of doing it. I'm not telling you what to do, but there are different ways that people like to keep their software organized. If you'll notice, I like to have a clean desktop with all of my programs down here along the taskbar. So we can do that with this new software that we downloaded. Let's pull up the Windows menu. Scroll down here to the G's and find our GPG for Window and the GPA, which is our front end. Going to right click on that, choose More, pin to taskbar, and there we've got it. So we'll run our software for the first time, and I believe we will not generate our own key now. We'll do that later. It's not necessary for what we're doing. So now we have our little front end here that shows us our key manager. As you can see, it's empty. There's no keys in there. These are signing keys. And but I do have the software downloaded, so we can oh, we haven't done Tor yet. Let's take care of that. So we're going to download Tor. We're going to save file. We're going to create a folder in the software. Create a new folder. We'll call this one Tor. And we'll download that. By the way, if you want this file to pop up like that in your settings over here on the hamburger menu, go to Options. We want to make sure that Always Ask Where to Save Files is ticked. We don't want to just drop them into downloads. You might. It's convenient. They're always in the downloads folder, but I like to have a little more control over where I put my files when I download them. I like to keep them organized. All right, and we can click on this down folder here to open up the folder. Okay, so we need to download the signature for the Tor and put it in the GPG for, boy, I'm just getting all messed up, aren't I? We're going to put it in the Tor folder. So we went through this last time. We've got the SIG file with all this cryptographic text. We're going to right click here, save link as, put it in the Tor folder. Go over here. We can run the verification by right clicking. And we are going to get a fail because the key is unknown. So there's a few, we need more than just the file and the installer and the signature file. We actually need the signing key of the developer. Okay, so how do we do that? We go over here to the what's this. We can scroll down a bit to their signing keys page, and we see the Tor Browser developers signing key is right here. This is the key ID. I'm going to select and copy. Go over here to GPA, and I'm going to use the server function, retrieve keys, and I'm going to paste that little key ID in there and hit OK. Okay, and then we're going to get that. We've downloaded the Tor Browser developer signing key. And when we do our verify this time, okay, it's going to tell us that the key is not valid. Well, this front end failed at this point to give me a good explanation of what occurred. It threw up a kind of an error/warn message, but it doesn't have as much information as I would like. So I'm going to show you guys, we want to enter into the Windows PowerShell here. We'll hit the Shift key and right click to get this pop-up. It's going to open up right here for us. Okay, we're going to run the command line here, GPG verify. Okay, I'm going to take this file here, going to select it, and I'm going to hit Control-C, copy, and then I'm going to paste, space, and paste again. And the reason I did that is because if you'll notice, the file names are the same, and I need the signing key, I need the signature file first, which has the ASC extension, but the second parameter is going to be the installer itself, which has the exact same name, minus that little extension. So now I have the two parameters in there the way I need them. I'm going to hit enter, and it's going to give me that it is a good signature from the Tor Browser developers, but there is a warning that the key is not a trusted signature. There's no indication the signature belongs to the owner. Okay, we've gone through this before. We don't know, and it's also thrown up the fingerprints for us just in case we want to check. If we just download this from a website, we don't know for sure if this is indeed the signing key of the Tor Browser developers. We need to verify this in person. That's the best way. I meet a Tor Browser developer. He writes down his fingerprint and gives it to me, and I take it home and I compare it to this fingerprint that gets generated, and then I know for sure that this was the Tor Browser developer and the signing key that he created. We can do this through a friend of a friend. We take this to what this is what's called the circle of trust. So a friend of a friend knows a Tor Browser developer. He can get the fingerprint from him, give it to me, and this chain can go on even longer if we want. A friend of a friend of a friend. That's why we call it the circle of trust. Okay, and there is a quick and dirty way to check this fingerprint too. We can just go to the website and scroll down here to the Tor Browser developers signing key and just look here, and we've got this fingerprint, and it does match the one that we got, EF6E, and ends in 8290. Well, that's all well and good. So we've got a pretty good fingerprint. pretty good idea that this is a fingerprint. So for demonstrative purposes, I'm going to give this signing key full trust by right-clicking, Set Owner Trust, and I'm going to go to Ultimate. This is the assumption that I have validated the key, that I know that it's the right key, given it ultimate trust, and now we're going to up arrow and run our command again, and we're going to get a nice, good signature without any warning. Okay? So we're also going to do this in a different way using the Electrum Bitcoin wallet as our example. We're going to go to download here, download the Windows installer. We're going to take this into software as well. I like to create this folder so that we have the two files next to each other and there's not a lot of other junk in the way. Okay, so let's go to the signature. Now this time I'm just going to cut and paste this whole mess. Oops, pardon me. Let's go back here. Okay, okay, here's the Electrum installer that we downloaded. I'm going to create a new text file. It has to be a text file too. We don't want rich text or Microsoft Word because there's formatting in there. And let's open this guy up, and we're going to paste that signing key in there, or pardon me, that signature file. We'll save it, and I'm going to give it the same name as this file. And we're going to give this the ASC extension. It's going to bark at me about that, and I'm going to say yes. Okay, I am showing extensions right now. When you go to your View menu, Options in Windows 10, we want to go over here to View. See this little, this is usually the default, so you don't see extensions. You'll notice that both of the extensions just kind of disappeared, but for our purposes, I like to show the extensions. It makes it easier to edit the file names. But I'll leave it back on my default. I'm going to open up a Windows PowerShell here again. Oops, I went too fast there, I guess. I'll hurrying this guy along. Okay, so we're going to do our GPG verify. Oops. And we're going to cut and paste again. Control C, it won't let me right click that for some bizarre reason. I can right click paste twice. I'm going to take the ASC extension off the so that it becomes the installer file name. Okay, there's no public key. We're gonna the Electrum website has the signing key right up here, and we're gonna do that same little business there. Copy. We're going to go to GPA, choose server again, retrieve keys, paste, and OK. All right. So now we have the signing key in there, and we can run the command again. So in that case, I basically ran you through everything. It tells us we got a good signature, but that the key is not trusted. We're going to assume that we met this developer as well. Set owner trust to ultimate. OK, and then we're going to, which by the way, I don't think that's best practices. I think most of the time they want you to just accept this. Okay, they want you to say, okay, that's fine. We know it's not trusted, but we've got a decent signature. We can run our installer. I like to see no warnings, so I've set trust to ultimate. But I think best practice is to just accept the fact that you don't have a trusted key. All right, so I'm going to go through another website where we have verification involved, the Bitcoin website. We want to get started with Bitcoin, choose wallet. We'll choose Bitcoin Core, and we're going to run the install, and it's going to take us over here to this. Okay, I'm going to download the, well, if I click there, I'm going to get the Windows 64 installer. I'm going to save it. I will put it in software again, create a new folder. Okay. All right, now this time when we hit verify release signatures, it's going to give us this crazy thing here. It doesn't take us over to a web page with a tagged signing release key. It actually downloads the file itself. So in this case, I'm just going to drop it. What happened there? It just kind of opened. Oh, I chose open. My bad. Okay, so we're going to save file. And we're going to put it in our Bitcoin Core. And then let's go over here and check, see what we got. Okay, we got the file next to it. Let's just run the verify with our right click and see what happens. Okay, it tells us that it's an unknown key. We knew that. Let's get the key. And here they give us these release keys, and then we're, as you can see over here, we downloaded version 0.14.1. So we want the version 0.11 and higher, this little plus. Okay, I'm going to save this guy too. Alright, I'm going to save it here. Now in this case, the signature or the release signing key was a file that we downloaded. So in this case, we're going to use GPA, and we're not going to go to server because we didn't get the key ID. We actually got the signing key. We're going to run import, and we're going to go over here to software, pardon me. Getting all verklempt here. Okay, we want the Bitcoin Core. Where is that guy? Here it is. Okay, we're going to open it. See, that's the release key. We're going to hit open. It just imported our keys for us. Isn't that wonderful? Okay, so that's just another method of getting the signing key. You know, we can also do this in the command line as well. There's a receive keys command, and there's also an import command on the command line. So let's go back over here, Bitcoin Core. Now let's run our verify again, now that we have the signing key. Key not valid. Okay, uncertain signature. Okay, so let's give it full trust. And let's right click again and do our verify. Hey, so now we got the valid. You know, this is what we like. So I've shown you a few methods for verifying software, a few things that might trip you up if you've learned to do things a certain way. So we went through a couple of different ways of verifying software. And I hope you join me for as we start to get more into the meat of what I want to show you guys. I'm going to show you how to stay anonymous on the internet. I'm going to show you how to download and install and a Bitcoin wallet, and how to get Bitcoin, how to buy Bitcoin, how to spend Bitcoin anonymously if you want. A lot of great things that we can do with encryption. So I hope you guys will join me. Let's see. I've got a little goodbye. So goodbye, everybody. Thanks for joining me, and I hope to see you again. Thanks.